Hi guys, it's so nice to see you again for another Saturday live with me, Tolu Amadi. I am the founder of ACID Digital and also a kids program, summer program, and now monthly sessions that teaches kids about the digital world and then entrepreneurship. Sorry about that. Well, so today the topic I'm going to be talking about is about resilience. So how can you build resilience for success? So I'm going to be focusing a lot on that. So just listen in and listen well. I'm going to just wait for the music to play more. And yeah, just listen in. I'm going to let other people trickle in and then we'll get started. Yeah, so I'm excited to talk about building resilience for success. So if you're here in the comments, you can either listen to the music or you can just talk to me about what is your own definition of resilience. Okay, so in 3 to 4 minutes, what's your own definition of resilience? While the music plays, I'd love to hear from you guys. Okay? So, what's your definition of resilience? Um, Again, I'm Tolu Amadi, founder of ACID Digital. I'm your efficiency, productivity, digital sales coach, or whichever one resonates with you. So, again, what is your definition of resilience? I will be speaking on building resilience for success. So, I'm looking forward to your everything you say in the comment section. And yeah, listen to the music. It might just be a trigger to you, but at the end of the day, it can end up being something that you can look at as strength, and you just need to investigate why it is a trigger and then move on, get why, try to fix it or try to move past it, just encouraging yourself. So that's one of the tips from my journey that I can share with you. So adaptability from that story that I just shared with you, you can see that, I was able to adapt to situations. So even though they had said, oh, this was the issue, I didn't just sit down and say, okay, well, there were lots of things that came up to my mind, like, okay, so should I stop and then maybe like refigure things from scratch, you know? I thought about all those things, but at the end of the day, what I just realized was, okay, I need to adapt systems. I need to, be able to adapt, take counsel from people. So I had called a friend at the time and I just told her what was going on. And she just gave me some tips that helped her to stay kind of sane because man, if you are in business and you think that you do not need a therapist, then I'll tell you again, you do. So, just adapt some things, get help, get coach, get a mentor. Um, Again, try and manage your stress. Mindfulness, just being mindful. One of the ways to manage stress, and I've seen people not do this, and it has affected them. I realized, right after then, because I used to really stress myself a lot, especially when someone says, "Oh, well, I have a deadline yesterday," and they're not bringing in the requirements that they had a deadline for yesterday. Why is that? So why would I be stressing for your deadline? Right? I will do all my due diligence, set up automation, remind you, follow up. But however, my job is not to stress about your own deadlines, right? My job is to make sure that you're on time filling the request. And I have my own deadlines that I have to keep. And that's what I'm following up against. So just being mindful of you and being mindful of what you set aside to do. So setting goals, right? Setting goals. So this one can be a little tricky. When I say setting goals, it could be really tricky because yeah, you may set a goal, but then other things come in to just like not allow you to achieve that goal. But it's not. So the way I want to talk about setting goals is sometimes there was a time in my life where I'd set so many goals. I told my assistants, I told my team members that this was what I wanted to do. So I had set goals and said, by this time we'll do like mobile technology. By this time we'll do this. By this time we'll have this app. And I was like really ambitious about the goal. And by this time we'll set up monthly classes for kids. Guess what? We were in August and I hadn't even set up the monthly classes. I hadn't done, the app that I wanted to do. I hadn't done the other thing that I wanted to do. And I was just I was disappointed. However, when I immediately let go, when I let go and just allow things to flow by itself, I ended up I ended up noticing that every single thing, every single goal that I had set for that year, I had achieved this in one way or the other. And I can tell you how. Like for the monthly classes for kids, I had started the monthly classes, but in collaboration with another organization. And that actually grew my business and it put me on the path of my goals being achieved. So setting goals can be looked at in so many ways. Setting goals could be look at when you set your goals now, you look around to see what's available, what opportunities are available for you, and then make sure that it helps you to meet your goals. So that's what I want to bring out there. So when you set goals in a very strategic way that at the end of the day, it helps you to achieve what you want. So don't set goals and then just try to like focus, like zero in focus, and then give yourself a lot of stress. Set goals in a way that you can look at opportunities that would be able to help you achieve them. So that's my own three personal tips on um, resilience and building a successful business by being resilient. So like I have told you before, my career has not been smooth sailing. When I first started business, I didn't always used to get clients, but now I get clients through referrals, through emails. I only need to be on TikTok once and I have 5 people calling me wanting to work with me. So it has been, there has been setbacks, you know, in the years past because number one, yes, I was camera shy. So I'm still camera shy, but I love to talk about what I do. So, and I have passion in what I do. So that outweighs a lot of the things that may dissuade me from doing this. So overcoming setbacks, yet focusing on the solutions rather than dwelling on the setback. I was able to pivot and find a new direction that ultimately led to greater success. Like I said, I started the Tarmac virtual business, but it got to a point where I really knew that the skill set that I had was way past what I was offering. So I needed to pivot. And, that's one challenge that I've gone through and AC Digital was born. So learning from failures in a way that, yes, there was that app. I had mentioned the story about the app that I was building and that app just did not succeed. There were so many things I learned from there, like for instance, buffing up contracts, not making sure that I don't leave anything unsaid and itemizing all my products. So at the end of the day, if anything goes wrong, then I know where to cut the line and just say, well, this is where we stopped and that is it. Oh, learning from failures. Yes. When you have something, when you have something, make sure you have all the knowledge about it. So what I mean there is when that issue ensued, I didn't even know that my business insurance covered things like legal and all that. But because of my ignorance, I made some decisions that I shouldn't have made. I should have just, you know, gone to the legal side and made sure that it was taken care of by by the legal team. So these are things that I had to learn about and I learned from it. So from your end, it's a good idea to always like make sure that stay informed about, the resources that you have, things that you bought, subscriptions that you have that could help you in your business. Like for instance, you may be struggling with like maybe processes or maybe a particular type of thing you want to achieve and someone says to use a certain tool. Meanwhile, you have already purchase one other tool that could do the exact same thing. But because you have no knowledge about it, or because you didn't even check to see whether or not you have that, you end up using, buying another tool, and that could be like a setback for you. That could be a challenge. So just stay informed about things. And I've also talked about the strength of a support system, mentorship, you know, the kids even getting mentored right now, that's a support system, even for them right now. They're learning skills that they would not be taught sometimes in school. So, that's very that's that's one of my passions, because growing up there were some things that I wish I learned, especially when I was in business. And now I'm opportune to be able to teach kids, and I'm excited about that. So my kids program is one way of building a support system around the community. So even for me as well, just the community of women, the associations that I have, and just the needs people around me that I can talk to, and they would be able to help me with any situations or challenges that I have. That is a support system that you want to have in your business. So another thing again is just making sure you build a So hi again, I am Tolu Amadi, the founder of ACID Digital, and also a kids program called JDEC. I'm here to talk to you about building resilience for success, and I'm looking forward to everything you guys have to say in the chat. In the chat, I'm hoping that you can just put down what your own definition of resilience is. So I'll be starting in just a few minutes, and I'll be waiting on you guys to just let me know. I would love to see what you have on chat, and yeah. So if you don't already know, this year would actually be my 10th year in business. So I had started my business, not ACID Digital, but another business that was almost like a virtual outfit, where I hired and recruited virtual assistants for small business. I still do that on a small scale, but only for organizations that really do need it. So I have navigated some of water of entrepreneurship as well, and also just growing from that personally and digitally. So today I'm going to share with you some of the essence of resilience, um, a quality that has actually shaped my career, because you cannot be in business for 10 years and just not be resilient. So if you're here, you're 10 years, you're 5 years, you're 2 years in business, trust me, you have done really well. But, there's always something to learn. There's always something to apply. So that's why I'm here sharing. So again, in the comment section, just answer what is your definition of resilience? So we'll be starting in a few minutes. So just give us a few minutes and we'll get started. Welcome in, and it's good to see you guys. So let me share my definition of resilience. I don't know if it's going to resonate with you guys, but resilience to me is pretty much about bouncing back from setbacks, and it's about just looking ahead without wavering. So most of the time you see people say you are, not only because you will be feeling that type of imposter spirit, but then you see people also come to you and they're saying you don't know how to do business. You're fake. I think there was one time someone actually told me that, I'm not a real developer, and I think that really weighed me down for a bit. But of course, it weighed me down for quite a bit. like 3 to 5 years, and I was like, sorry, not 3 to 5 years, but 3 to 5 days. And then right after that, I jumped back because I know, okay, well, before I even started web design, I had gone to school for to do more and to learn more about web development. So I do have the fundamentals. I can even lead a team without even looking at a book. So that's how so that's how much knowledge I have. So I'm gonna be sharing tips for you today on how to like stay focused, stay sane. Just make sure that all these things don't affect you. So I'm gonna be sharing that. So again, resilience allows you to adapt to change. Um, I've spent much of my career just being resilient, and if I didn't wasn't resilient in a lot of the things that I did, I don't know if I will be here today. So sometimes it could even be in maybe when someone says no to a business proposal that I had sent, just being resilient and asking, so why, not exactly the why question, but more of what is this that you would have loved to see that you did not see? And how can we make sure that we do better? Some of these questions have helped me, even in my business side. So in my personal side, when people attack my personal character, it's pretty much about looking at, okay, so Tolu, what have you achieved? If you don't know who I am a mom of four. So when people ask me or say, you cannot do something or you have not achieved something, I'm always looking back to, okay, you're a mom of four, you do this, you do that, you do the other thing, you started a kids program, looking to empower kids as well, because, that is the fundamental of everything. If I, one of the other days, I will share a story of how I got into tech and how tech has always been a part of me. But for now, we're talking about resilience, so let's stick to the topic. So, resilience tips from my journey. So one of the first steps to building resilience is understanding what challenges you, right? So in my journey, keeping a really detailed journal, I used to have like lots of books, like 5, 6 books that I will run through in 2, 3 months. And I'm just keeping journals, documenting things. It helps me recognize the patterns that I was facing in what overwhelmed me, allowing me to address some of the triggers proactively rather than just being reactive to it. So this year that I told you about, where someone said you're not even really a web developer, and I just looked at the person, I think the person actually wanted me to build their site personally. And the way I had run my business, I was already like 6, 7 years at that time in business, and the way I had run my business, I had made sure that I was delegating, systemizing, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to sustain with 4 kids, right? So the person saying that, just, I think at that point in time, it made me feel guilty because yes, ideally every single business wants to run personally, and that's why we go into business. However, it is not sustainable to do that, right? So looking back at my why and looking back at some of the things that got me into business. So those were some of the things that took me through that time period. So my why is always to inspire. So if I'm not inspiring the team around me to be able to do something, to be able to run, a business, as my business aside from me, then what is it? Is it just to fulfill a client's need? Right? So if I'm not inspiring, if I'm not equipping people around me, and then so that they are able to build, then what is it to me? Why am I even in business? So I think what I'm trying to get at here is that there are some things that people will say how to build a resilient mindset. So one of the ways is just to practice mindfulness, right? Just practice mindfulness, self-reflection. I'm not saying reflect on at night, reflect on something, but just practice a reflection that is healthy for you. Not reflecting on saying, oh, I'm such a bad person, but reflect on things. Say, how could I have done this better? And just, try to see how you can work through solutions. When something happens, someone gives you a feedback, work through them. Like for instance, in my business right now, some people would give me feedback like, oh, they can't even use the tech tools that are there. But one of the ways that I've been able to overcome it is saying, okay, so how can we make sure that whatever platforms that we're building for our clients, they're able to use it? So one of the things we've done is to start incorporating training in every aspect of our business, including from when people actually come into the business and you're starting the, let's say, website process, the automation process, the SEO process. They get to watch a video, they get to see, follow an animated content where they're taking through all the steps that we're going to take in the process of getting their websites, their automation set up, their tech implemented. And that way they're able to stay informed every single point in time. Aside from the timelines that are pre-standard, we've set up all these other measures to be able to help them. So, and then another thing is just positive affirmations in a way that you're able to stay positive. You can even put it in your office space. One thing that I do, I have a book. I don't have it right here right now, but I have a book that normally says, um, "I'm blessed and not stressed." Right? Too blessed to be stressed. That's exactly what it says. So that book, sometimes I will take a look at it in the daytime, and it would be very, very helpful because at the end of the day, when I look at that book, then I know that I just keep asking myself, why am I even stressing? So I think that's the approach that we as well should be able to take in a lot of the things that we do so that we can build resilience for success. Okay. Okay. So another way again is just engaging with other people, finding out, okay, what do they think about your business? What do they think about something? I'm not saying, that should be a validation tactic for you, because seriously, whatever God has put in your mind to do, you should do it nonetheless with whatever every other person is saying. Don't do it because of them. Do it because you have passion for whatever you're doing. So what I'm trying to say is that just make sure that, especially in business, you're asking the right questions and you're using it to build yourself. So that's what it is. So in terms of, if you have questions, comments, I love to hear about what you think about this topic in the comments, and I would be happy to give my feedback. I'll be happy to hear from you. Just let me know what you think, and then we'll go ahead. So how in your business or in your personal life have you built resilience? Again, if you just want a small dose of encouragement and you're just coming into this live, welcome again. We're talking about building resilience. However, one thing I want to say before I end this live is you've got it in you and you can do this, right? You are amazing. You're beautiful. You have all it takes to be resilient, to be successful in business. So it doesn't matter what comes your way. It doesn't matter what people have said about what you have. Try not to be a perfectionist. I've tried it, but I'm still struggling with it. But most times I've tried it. This mic is way too close to my mouth. But just make sure that you're doing everything that you can do. So thank you again for joining me today. And I hope that when you leave this session, you feel empowered and you have actionable strategies and insights to build your resilience. Remember, the journey of resilience is ongoing, and every challenge is an opportunity for growth. So I'm excited to continue this conversation, and so we can support each other, right, in our journey. So let's stay connected and together. Share in the comments what you think about this, what kinds of topic you want to see. I'd love to hear about how you've been resilient in your business as well, because sharing is caring. We can help each other. I talked about building a support system. Again, I'm just talking about myself now, and I'm a mom of four. I built a business called AC Digital. I have several other businesses on ground, almost projects. We're entrepreneurs, so we always have those projects. But I'm just trying to tell you that if you're in the same boat that I am, Stay strong, and you have it in you to do exploits, to be amazing, to be beautiful, to be that resilient. And thank you for listening today. And see you later next Saturday, same time. I will be sharing another topic with you. And on Friday, we would actually announce the topic. So see you again next week. And stay safe and happy weekend.